Criticism and rejection are a part of the writing process if you make the choice to show your work to other people. I have always said to writers, you have two best friends. One of them is the word why, as you challenge your material and inquire of the choices you've made and the characters are making. The other is the trash basket. Nobody needs to see this until you're ready. But when you're ready, if you've decided that writing is what I need to do, but I also want to get it published, I want people to read it, I want people to see it. And publishing is a big, broad term. That can mean I want a traditional publishing house to put it out under a hardcover in the bookstores. It can also mean I'm going to read it at a reading series somewhere. I'm going to workshop it with people and let them see chapters. That's publishing. Publishing means I am uttering this story out loud for other people to hear and receive. Once you make that choice, inevitably someone, especially if you're in a setting like a workshop where the whole point is let's try to help our work get better, you're going to hear criticism. You're going to hear, I don't get that character, or why did they make that choice, or the writing feels a little clunky. And you might get rejection, especially if you send it out to literary agents or editors at publishing houses. You will get rejections. You might get an acceptance, but you're going to go through that process, and it's not fun, and it doesn't feel good, but it is a part of the process. And so what I would always hope you keep in mind as you go through the process of having your work seen, heard, vetted, if you express that work as honestly as you could, try not to get pulled in 10 different directions every time someone says, well, I think the character should be more sympathetic, less sympathetic. They should be younger. They should be older. They should be smarter. They should be dumber. They should choose that person. No, they're with the wrong person. Choose this one. You can get pulled into multiple directions. What is it that made you burn to write this story? Hang on to that, because you can get sidetracked by a lot of what people give by way of well-meaning criticism. I have this notion in my head always, would like to go to the Grandma Rose theory. My grandma was a little profane, so forgive the word, but she told me once, if somebody calls you a jackass, they're very rude. If two people call you a jackass, you may be a jackass. I keep this in mind by way of acceptance of criticism and feedback. You'll get different kinds of feedback, but if you start parsing through it, you may come to find that the feedback is all centering on the same thing. It may be coming from different directions. You know, someone may say, this character, I don't believe the choice they made. Someone else may say, I get the choice, but the consequences are weird. Like, why did that happen? I don't understand. Someone else may say, the character just feels wrong. So everyone's saying different things, and you may think to yourself, I don't know how to address this. How do I revise for this? They're all saying different things, but they're all talking about one common element, which is this character is communicating in a way that maybe you did not intend. So that feedback is actually valuable data. It's a little bit like when you get an error message on your computer, and unless you're IT, you don't know what that says. But for somebody who does know what it says, it's important data. It's helping them identify the problem. So part of the work I do with writers is to help them develop their sense of what is this data? What is this feedback all centering around? What's the common element? Something I may not be communicating well. We make our way through the criticism that not only lets us get to the heart of what's being said, but also it helps us depersonalize it, so it doesn't feel so stinging. The closer the story is to your own story, the harder it is to hear, oh, that's just not interesting. You come away feeling like my life isn't interesting, really? It's not your life, it's the telling of the story. So we depersonalize, we try to interpret the data, and we determine what is being communicated about the way we communicated this aspect of the story. Rejection. It's going to happen. There's not a lot to say about how to make it easier, other than my brilliant wife, who's extraordinary at what she does, always coaches me to stay with what is, not what if. What if is trying to predict the future based upon something that's happening right now. It's always going to be this way. It's only going to get worse. Stay with what is. A publisher said, this is not for us. An agent said, this is not for us. It literally only takes one person to say, oh, you know what? I like this. I can work with this. You only need one. You're looking for the one. And so that allows you to kind of navigate that rejection, but it is a part of the life. And again, Writing, I believe, for writers is what we need to do. For whatever reason, it's a story that we're burning to tell. It's just how we like to live our lives. It's how we navigate the world. Publishing is what we choose to do. So if we choose to do it, rejection is a part of it, but it's not all of it. Creation is a part of it too, and that's amazing. Revision is a part of it too, and seeing your work become better and better is amazing. And interacting with the professionals in our business is a part of it too. And as we go, we begin to understand a little bit more about that publishing world, and we enable ourselves to be a little bit more resistant and resilient to what we know may be coming, which is if you sail on a sea, every now and again, the sea will get choppy. That is a part of what it means to sail on the sea. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means, hey, that's a part of it. You'll be okay.
Don't wait to start writing your book. Pick up the right formula, 12 steps from concept to completion, and take the first step towards your story.